difficulty and may still have it because I turned my car on to let the windows down. So hopefully the audio didn't jump onto the car. But we'll see. Anyway, so Feast of Trumpets, we are in that time period. Now, the only problem I had with it, the same problem I had last year and the same problem I had before. And here's the problem, okay? And I might have to repeat. The problem I had with it last year, I'm sending out invitations. Just wait a few minutes for. I'm waiting for. There's a notification that comes down to tell me that it's running correctly. Okay, so this is what I want y'all to think about. Everything that the Bible said is going to happen is happening exactly now. Now, I find it kind of strange that we would go another year. With that being said, I want you to listen up, please. I had to go through this just the last 24 hours. I had to go through this the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Is that Israel, we got to remember, Israel's not following God to the T. No matter how nice of a nation it is, no matter how beautiful the strawberries are, no matter how they create things out of thin air, and they're really a wise nation, we have to kind of realize that Israel is, of course, the apple of God's eye, and they're God's chosen people, but they're not still on the same program as um, as God would like or want them to be. So we got to remember that. But at one point, all Israel will be saved. Now, with that being said, they're doing the Feast of Trumpets today, yesterday and today, or is it today, this morning, and tomorrow morning. And it's the 2nd through the 4th. And if you read Psalms 81, it says that the new moon, it says, saying after the new moon, you start blowing trumpets. So go read Psalms 81. That's your homework assignment. And it says that you blow the trumpet at the new moon. And then he explains right after that, it explains the law of Jacob. And guess whose sign you see? Well, we don't see it, but guess what sign is there in the sky? The Jacob sign. Now, with that being said, I want y'all to think about this. Listen to what Jesus, I don't have no Bible, so I'm saying this off of memory. But think about what Jesus said. He says, I'm coming at an hour that you think not. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that's just any day. No, it's not. It's not just any day. It's a feast day. But if you're Israel, first of all, you're not even watching. You think another Messiah is coming. But if you're Israel, or if you're the church grafted in, and you think you understand the Feast of Trumpets, we don't. Because Israel is abiding right now. Israel, from the 2nd to the 4th, will be doing church ceremonies and blowing trumpets, and they'll be eating apples, and they'll be doing the things that they do. Even the president, the prime minister, Netanyahu, will not bomb Iran until after this celebration. Now, has the moon been sighted? Has the moon been sighted? The answer to the question is no. So go back to Psalms 81 again. Are they following God's rules? They don't. They seem to break God's rules all the time, break God's laws all the time. That's how God wants them to sight the new moon and then blow the trumpets. then observe the Feast of Trumpets. So you might have 5 to 7 days of the Feast of Trumpets observance where the rapture can come any of those days. So the rapture can actually happen the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and possibly the 8th. You know why? Anytime somebody asks a dumb question, I'm sorry, and y'all gonna think I'm mean to say it. It's a dumb question. It's a dumb question. Do I believe in Jesus? If it's a dumb question, I'm getting rid of it right away. I don't have the time for it. Technically, I should have stopped the comments. So listen, even if you knew the Feast of Trumpets, even if you could see the day approaching, which day is it? Hence, no one knows the day and hour. Now, if Israel's observing the day, the 2nd and through the 4th, and they're blowing their trumpet, they're doing everything as normal, does the rapture have to happen? Now, it could still happen, and maybe the eclipse was the sight has something to do with the sight of the moon. I don't know. I know. I believe that there is a slither of the moon that has to be seen. And I think at the time of the rapture of the church, the 2 witnesses that are identifying that the moon's been sighted will be the 2 witnesses from Revelation. I repeat, I believe, this is just my belief, I've always believed this. When the actual rapture gets ready to take place, God's going to drop Moses and Elijah, Enoch and Elijah, whoever it is. He's going to drop them off like you dropping somebody off at the prom. And then they're going to go and they're going to have some dude's going to bring them some equipment, whatever equipment they need. Just like when they say go outside and you'll find a colt tied to the tree. Well, somebody's going to do that for the 2 witnesses. They say, go over here and find this guy, and he's going to lodge you until you guys get ready to go to the wilderness, sackcloth and ashes, and y'all going to go to the wilderness. But until then, he's going to give them the equipment on behalf, sponsored by God, and they're going to look in and say, oh, there's the moon. It'll probably be on Friday, where we thought the rapture is going to take place. You see what I'm saying? And somebody in Israel believes what I'm saying right now. It's at the sighting of the new moon. So you got a remnant of people who actually start their celebration at that time. And they will celebrate when the new moon's seen, because they're Messianic Jews. They're following the Bible, right? We, on the other hand, in America, we're trying to get, our church is trying to do this Feast of Trumpets celebration, and we're not even thinking about the sighting of the new moon. So this is where it gets confusing. At an hour that you think not, the Son of Man cometh. He's not talking about the second coming. You didn't lost 75% of your population. He's not talking about that. He's talking about at peacetime, when there's peace and safety, and it's still sunny out, and it's still pretty outside, and it's still gorgeous, and people are still going to work, people are still going to college, people are still doing things, starting businesses, getting married, at an hour that you think not. It doesn't change the parameters that you can still see the day approaching. It doesn't change any of that stuff. It's saying that when you least expect it, and it's talking to the dead church, talking to the church of Laodicea, it's talking to the people who are unenthusiastic about the Lord coming. It's like melancholy. Blow, yeah, he'll come back. And not probably not my generation, probably with my my great grandkids. So it's always your great grandkids. And if you don't notice, we're always trying to push the rapture off another year. Or we're always trying to push it off another month. We're always trying to push it off. One day it's not, just like the scoffer. The scoffers are geniuses until they're not. A scoffer is a genius until he's not. You ever seen a gambler that just gambles all their money away and then and they win? They actually win and they win and they win and win until they lose. Well, a scoffer is the same way. The numbers go with the scoffer. I mean, just like I hate when I was a kid, I used to hate, when somebody come up and say, Thomas Hearn is gonna beat Hagler, in a box, and of course he's the better fighter. You're not a genius, or the Dallas Cowboys are gonna beat the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl, and Dallas is better. You don't get a cookie for it. Well, what's worse is saying that the rapture is not going to happen this year, because the numbers go with you. You got the numbers. The chances is pretty good. You go back 6,000 years. You had a chance to be right 6,000 years if you were older than Methuselah. You had a chance to be correct. And if you're 50 years old, you had a chance to be correct at least 35 years of your 50 years. Jesus not coming back. It makes you look like a genius. I've always laughed at people when they say that Jesus is not coming back, because technically, if you go back since even I lived in Airway Heights, I lived here for 19 years. You had 19 years to be correct. At this point, 18, because you might not be correct this time. But let me finish up what I'm saying, because I get hyped when I'm talking. The scoffers. So I'm not adding any days to the Feast of Trumpets. I'm just saying there's a possibility you got the first 2 original days, but the moon's sighted on the 4th or not sighted on the 4th. What if it's sighted on the 5th? Somebody is going to blow those trumpets down here before they blow them up there. Somebody is going to spot the new moon, regardless of Israel's already celebrating the holiday in the first place. Somebody's going to spot the new moon. So sort of that in and of itself is a testament of Israel's character to not follow God. Not follow God with the Shemitah cycles, not follow God with the Jubilee, whatever you go back and study your Bible, that you figure that Israel was not being obedient to God. Neither are some of us. I was watching this guy today, and I watch him for the news. Even his biblical way to get to heaven is to me is wrong. But anyway, I watch him just for the news. He's pretty good at the news. Anyway, he says, I don't know why everybody always picking the Feast of Trumpets every time. The Feast of Trumpets, the Feast of Trumpets. But when it comes to the third Passover and the 4th Pentecost, you guys are fine with that. And I don't say nothing bad about those time periods. The weeks, the wine or whatever, the new wine, y'all perfectly fine with somebody doing that, but when it comes to the real thing, y'all don't want nothing to do with it. Is that the devil behind that? And I'm not saying the devil can be behind me, and you could say, get thee behind me, Satan, not Phil, but Satan. I mean, Satan is behind, like Peter. Peter wasn't working for the devil, but the devil was influencing Peter. So you got these guys on these YouTube channels saying, well, Feast of Trumpets is not it. The Feast of Trumpets is this. Every year we're looking for the Feast of Trumpets. Well, it probably is it, because you're getting angry and facetious. I never see anybody do it, for the other watch times. Just the Feast of Trumpets. I don't care how many times the Feast of Trumpets has passed. That don't cancel it out. It just makes no sense. Some of our reasoning factors makes no sense. So, what do I believe is going to happen? I don't know. I'm going to be blunt to say, if he doesn't come back at least by Tuesday of our time, We're going into next year for some reason. Or I got one more thing to point out is the Day of Atonement. That's it. And my numbers was for the Day of Atonement is 10% versus my time for the Feast of Trumpets is like 80 to 90% still. Do I want to go another year? Heck no. Do I realize that the moon's not sighted and there's a possibility that somebody's going to be orchestrated to sight that moon and somebody's going to be orchestrated to blow those trumpets? Yeah, somebody's smart enough to do it. Trust me, there's somebody in Israel right now saying, hey, you got to wait for the moon to be sighted. I bet you if I go right now and study, I'm going to find some organization said the moon has to be sighted first. So just think about that for a minute. At an hour that you think not, it doesn't have anything to do with just a normal day and it's my birthday or your birthday or somebody on Facebook's birthday. And hey, I'm just lucky enough to, use the word lucky, Lucifer. I'm just lucky enough that the rapture happened on my day because God chose me. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. You don't even know when the moon sighted. It could go just that one day, which is Saturday. If it's sighted on Friday, 100 trumpet blasts, the last trumpet blast is the last trumpet. Or I asked the question, do they split it up between 2 days, the 100 trumpet blasts? I don't know. Hence, I don't know what day and hour it is. But you're going to see the Scoffers pop out tonight. And the Feast of Trumpets not even over for Israel, period. So you still gonna see Scoffers before this. You already see them. Even our own people, even the foolish versions, even some of the wise versions. The Feast of Trumpets is not it, because the second people are out there saying that the October 2nd is the rapture. I don't remember I didn't say it. I don't think the first day of the Feast of Trumpets will be the rapture. I just don't think so. It's a possibility. Yeah. If they blow the 100 trumpets blast that same day, but something tells me they split the two up. And I like what DM said. It says, looking at the moon phase calendar, it won't be possible to spot it until sundown. Yeah. How quick do we forget? Aspartame is bad for Phil's brain. I deliver groceries to people's house, and us Americans drink a lot of sweetener. You know what sweetener does? It makes you less. You know what toothpaste fluoride does? Makes your IQ come down. So imagine if I'm okay now, imagine how smart I would have been if I wouldn't eat a bad diet by these people, these manufacturers. You can't even eat a doggone Oreo cookie no more. You can't eat nothing. I mean, how you not going to eat? You got to eat something. Everything's got stuff in it. Food dye and all this other stuff. Let me be quiet for the Facebook, YouTube. My premise to this video is that no one knows day and hour, even if we knew the day and hour. Rapture on Sabbath. DM, I'm pointing at you, man. I don't know if you're female lady or guy, but thank you. Thank you. You thinking like me, or I'm thinking like you. I don't know which is first, the chicken or the egg, but I'm thinking like you, or you thinking like me. Something's going on here. Thank you. Yep. And it can go as far as after the Sabbath, which is eternity. I mean, he could be trying to. Everything's a shadow. If you notice, the Revelation 12 sign is 7 years from this time period right now. The April 8th eclipse is 7 months from here. The so-called Jacob star is 7 days or from this period. I wouldn't even be surprised you get a 7-hour warning we just don't know about. And what really irritates me, and I just saw a guy post. He came on my show at one point. He says November 3rd is the. If God wanted us to be confused, well, I mean, we confused. Of course, we'd be confused until we figure it out. But when it's all said and done, we're going to figure out we shouldn't have been confused. So when people say the calendars are off, they tend to forget that God was here before us. He's an eternal being. He doesn't need us. I mean, he wants us, but he doesn't need us, or else he wouldn't have made us. And when people say, well, God, the calendars are off, the calendars are for us, not for God. God don't need no calendars. He sits outside of time. Why does he need the calendars for? So when y'all say, well, it's 30 days off, or it doesn't happen until, the Jubilee cycles don't end until after the tribulation period. The Jubilee cycle has to end at the rapture of the church. It tells you what it's doing. He tells you. See, we get confused because he's using too many words. The day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night. Well, who's the thief in the night? Well, let's summarize this by saying it's a trap. The day of the Lord shall come as a trap. So if it's a trap, then somebody is not in the trap. Somebody made it out. The day of the Lord shall come as the rapture of the church. The day of the Lord shall come as a called up or calling out. The day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night. So what is the 6,000 years? So after the 6,000 years, the day of the Lord comes. I'm not a rocket scientist. So after 6,000 years, my spirit will not always strive with man, for his time would be 120 what? 120 Jubilee cycles. 6,000 years. 6,000 years is done. Leave it alone. It's done. Push it out the way. 7-year tribulation period, itty bitty tribulation period is a long time to be suffering, and then the millennial reign. It's not part of the speed of cycles even. The speed of cycles is to get you to the 6,000 years, to the end. So he honors the 6,000, the speed of cycle, but you know what was really important? Is go back to 1973 to 1974. What happened in 1973? Guess what? You go back to 1973, the trumpets were blown, and there was a war, and it's the Yom Kippur War. And in 1974, it was the end of the 119th Jubilee cycle. The 120th Jubilee cycle started in the fall of 1974, and look where we at now. Let's count up 50 years. You get to 2024. So you tell me if the rapture is not going to happen, at least by atonement. We're there. It's that simple. I think what happens is you do these videos, you get hundreds of thousands of views on the video saying that there's 2 or 3 or 4 Jubilees. No, it's not. It's just one. Just like they say it was multiple gospels. No, it's just one. Multiple gods. It's just one. It's three persons and one God, but yes, you bang up the word Trinity. Trinity is not in the Bible. Neither is the rapture. The word rapture is not in the Bible. Neither is the word Bible in the Bible. I'm not the smartest guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't even come on these videos to show my smartness. If I can, I'll just act sophisticated. I mean, I'll come on here and breathe every 5 seconds and say, we won't be here for that. We won't be here for that. Yeah, watch these YouTube videos. We won't be here for that. We blah 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 blah. We won't be here for that though. Blah 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 blah. We won't be here for that though. I mean, dude, man, I don't need to hear you're not going to be here for that. I know what you. I know your ministry. I know you talking about the rapture is going to happen and the church is going to be taken out. I know that. You don't have to keep reminding me that. I get it. You trying to encourage people, but you might want to make sure your gospel's right before you talk about you, because when you're going to feel like crap if you one of the foolish versions and you come back on it. I tell myself that all the time. I'm not going to sit up here. I'm going to encourage you guys as much as I can, but I'm not going to say every 2 seconds, every news report, that we're not going to be here for that. Some of y'all probably know who I'll be talking about, but I'm not mentioning people. You don't need to remind us every 2 seconds we're not going to be here for that. To me, it's a form of pride, of bragging. Don't your heart go out to these people going to be left behind? Mine does. Mine's sorrowful. I shouldn't have never asked God to make me feel bad when people are going to be here. Because now I can't even stop it no more. It's like a runaway fountain. And it just keeps going. It's getting worse every day. I was numb in 2017. That's probably why I wasn't going to go in the rapture the first place. I'm not laughing. I'm serious. I don't think I would have went in 2017. I might have. I don't know. But I didn't. I wasn't compassionate enough as I look back at it. Now I'm like, I could see a hurricane. I was fine. I was like, hell, that happens. Now I'm like brokenhearted for everything. I work out, I deliver groceries and stuff, and I see moms with babies. My heart just sinks every time. I say, God, okay, I shouldn't have asked. Can I take it back? Because I know those moms are not going to have a kid if they're not saved. They're going to be walking around like zombies. That's coming, folks. I'm not prophesying nothing. I ain't said, there says the Lord, he's coming back this weekend. I just believe that I have to go to the Bible and look at it and see what Jesus is saying. I enjoy Bible prophecy teachings by different pastors. I'm cool. But I have to go to the Bible to see what Jesus is saying. And when he says, okay, when people say, well, in Matthew 24, when he says, he says, no man knows the day and hour, he's talking about the Feast of Trumpets. Okay. But my confusion was, he's still saying to those people, I'm coming at an hour that you think not. Now, I can't just say he's talking to the Jews when I feel like it. The Bible's for everybody. But I could use it to think somebody ain't doing something, and it's coming off of us. It's reflecting on us as well. When we look at the Feast of Trumpets and they're celebrating it now, and we're wishing them a happy new year because that's their celebration, but they are not looking for the sighting of the new moon. Do they have to? Hence, the rapture could have happened yesterday and today and tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, possibly Monday or Tuesday, depending on when, what if the moon's not sighted until Sunday? I think it'll be sighted on Friday. So that places the rapture on a Sunday. Remember the Sunday morning rapture movie? Rapture gonna happen on no Sunday. That's what I was saying too. Judgment will begin at the house of the Lord. Now, if they blew 100 trumpets on one day, then it can still happen on Saturday. But if they split it within the 2 days, that'll be your homework assignment. That's my homework assignment, to find out how many days does it take them, since they have two, to blow those 2 trumpets. Do they blow the whole 100 series and the last trumpet still on each day? That's a good question to ask. Now, what if it doesn't happen this year? What if it doesn't happen on the Feast of Trumpets? I got one more day, and after that, I serve God every day. I could die any day. That's my motivation. Are you going another year? I don't see it happening. I don't even believe in a gap theory. You see these pastors talking about, there's a gap theory, and they have a whole 30 minutes of 100,000 viewers. It's no gap theory. Why would the Antichrist take another year to come when they already did the UN meeting? No, they believe in shock and awe in every sense of the way. Shock and awe is even with the Hollywood actors that they try to get them to do all kinds of crazy stuff, or else your career is going to be broken up. They believe that with everybody. Shock and awe is in war scenarios in Iraq. You heard that shock and awe. Shock and awe is to get you to do something. They bring down World Trade Center. They get you to do something. Shoot a president. They get you to do something. They're not going to wait another year. Doesn't make any sense. Some of the most ridiculous stuff, you go on social media can destroy you. James chapter 1 says, tossed around with every wind of doctrine, tossed around with every wind of ideas. I don't want to be mixed up. I've never wanted to be mixed up. It just caused me stress. I'm a conspiracy. I consider myself a conspiracy theorist. I've never tried to be mixed up. I might have pondered something that gave me a little headache, but no, I don't spend my time being taught. I settle with stuff. Even the Bible tells you to have a foundation. Without foundation, the people perish. Without vision. You don't want to be tossed around and to and fro, listening to 65 different pastors every doggone week. Is the moon flat? I don't want to be sitting here listening to somebody tell me garbage stuff that they just researched. Ain't everything true, folks. It's fun. You can put your soul at risk by listening to so many people, especially now. This is when you know who you're listening to. Show me somebody, and I know y'all gonna disagree, and that's fine. This just me, just my flesh saying this. Show me somebody that listened to 20 people before the rapture of the church, and I'll show you somebody left behind. Now, what I mean by that is I'm not talking about something you're watching the news events and what's gonna happen. I'm saying show me somebody who go from one genre to the next genre of so-called, I ain't saying music, but so-called teachings, and I'll show you somebody lost. It's kind of a time when you kind of step away from the internet. If you know the timing is right, you don't want to get mixed up. You don't want to get confused. You want to know that your call in an election is sure. Like I say, I'm not going to sit up here and tell y'all, I know we're going to be gone before this weekend's out. I'm going to tell you, I have confidence that something's not right. Something's not right. Something's going to happen. Something's something's going to happen where people are going to be left behind. They're going to be like, I thought the Feast of Trumpets was over. Yeah, you thought you did. Yeah, that's where the Scoffers came out. You thought it was over, but it wasn't. I don't think the Feast of Trumpets is over solidly until Monday. And then even I'm saying in general, when do you see the moon? When did the 100 and trumpet blasts stop? When is the Day of Atonement correct? When does that happen? So anyway, God bless you guys. I'll be doing videos. I'm doing one later on tonight. I got to go to the store and get my kids something to eat tonight. Yeah, it's getting bad out there, folks. This hurricane is people. I mean, we don't even know the truth about this hurricane. We don't know. I mean, man. I'm not trying to be. We don't realize what's coming our way. We don't realize how bad it's gonna get. I mean, we're right next to I'm right next to Seattle. And then like this individual says, he says, Seattle, you got the Cascadia seduction fault line there, And people always point to, you know, San Francisco. That whole Pacific can go away. Or it could be really bad earthquake that can happen there. And we even got a earthquake Mediterranean. I'm saying Mediterranean, Madrid fault line in the middle of the United States. Nobody is safe. So once again, my heart goes out for being 55 years old. My heart goes out to all of us. My heart goes out to the Christians who make it out of here. Praise the Lord. My heart goes out to the people who are going to be left behind. My heart goes out to even the lukewarm church or the foolish virgins. My heart goes out to the unsaved completely. I'm not saying good for them. They're going to get what they deserve. I never said that. I even find myself asking God, okay, God, I want a peace. I want peace. Now that I'm contemplating how close we are, I want peace. I don't want to be thinking, you tricked me. If I even said that 2 days ago. I said, you know, you say no one knows day and hour. Trick me right now, because I was really getting a little stressed on, should I go get some extra food for whoever's here? Should I do this? And God was like, don't worry about it. If you get extra food, that's fine. But he's saying, do not sit here and be full of anxiety. I say, trick me, God. Tell me that the Feast of Trumpets is over, and then fool me with the real Feast of Trumpets. I was just joking until one day, last night, I'm just sitting here contemplating, maybe it's the new moon. Maybe it's based off the new moon being sighted, and there's somebody in Israel that will blow the trumpet somewhere in the United States, somebody in the world. He's designating maybe just one person. And he's going to blow his trumpet at the same time. So, listen, the UN didn't do that. And it could go another year, but I don't see any signs. I'm looking for the signs. I can't find them. It's now. But I'm looking for the sign that maybe the war would subside for a year, but I don't see it happening. Israel is stuck on taking out everybody, all their threats. They even hit Russia's depot, or whatever you want to call it, weapons depot. I glory in nothing of what's happening. I glory in nothing. I got sisters, I got nieces and nephews, I have you, I have your family and your friends and your associates. I don't want nobody. I'm just saying. I can't tell you I've always been this way, but no, I'm good. It's got to happen anyway, but my heart, it goes out. I'm not going to say every 5 seconds, we won't be here though. You know, Israel's, we don't want to be here though. We won't be here for that. Earthquakes in the center of the United States, we won't be here for that. I'm not going to be here. I hope I'm not going to be here for that. Because I got a USGS notification this about the, yeah, that's probably going to go down one of these days. I'm right by it, and the bad thing is we got the food ports over there. They're on strike, and you know there's a possibility that the East can have an earthquake on the East Coast as well. We're not even safe from anything. And how many people have a family member they can't convince for the life of me? They look at you with this glass face, like, okay, you know, and they can still have the conversations that the woe is me, the world's bad, the food prices is high, the People are dying here, there. Did you see the zombie apocalypse? Do you see the Aurora apartment complexes being taken over? They can have the conversations, but they have this glass look. Or have you ever thought about maybe when people say that this is the mark? It's not. But have you ever thought about it when the Revelation says, um, and they were deceived by their pharmaceuticals? If somebody sticks something inside of you, maybe the God tube, the God vacuum is covered. Yes, I see people looking at me like a glass. They got a glass face now. We used to have a dialogue. Now we don't. We don't have no dialogue no more. So when they put this stuff inside of you, is it changing your mind, changing your God tube that you're made in God's image? It's changing your will and your want of God, eternity in the heart. Covers it. You don't have no will for God no more. So if I was you, if you took it already, repent. If you took it already and you watching this, you probably bypassed it. But if you're watching this and you took it, that's not the mark. You can repent about it, but I wouldn't take nothing else. I wouldn't be taking boosters. You notice Betsy White took boosters and she's dead, bragging about it on line and dead the next week. You can't be taking. She's 900 years old. She's Methuselah age, and she wasn't dying. Look at her. She looked younger than me. She wasn't going nowhere, and she took that stuff, and then it killed her. She's 900 years old, so of course it's going to kill her if you put something in your body. Anyway, God bless you guys. I guarantee you, Jimmy Carter ain't take it. He 100 years old. He ain't take it. I think my mom might have took it, and that's why her dementia sped up. I think one of my cousins took it, and that's why she ended up dying. I think if she wouldn't have took that, she'd probably be still walking around. My brother-in-law died. I don't think he would have died that quick if he would have took that stuff. It's not the mark, but it will kill you off and kill your God too. Might as well be the mark. You can't see God. You're blind to it. Now, if you're on here and you already took it, then you made it past the test. I mean, I'm not the test of all tests. But yeah, if you got enough to watch this, you're either going to blow me off or you agree with me. Anybody's entitled to blow me off. Anyway, God bless you. I didn't realize I'd be on here this long. I got to go get the kids something to eat. But God bless you guys. You guys have a wonderful day. And I'll probably be back on tonight to talk about some of the things that is going on right now. And yeah, there's so much stuff going on right now. If we go another year, then the church will be in a miniature tribulation period. But that's what this is already. Perilous times. We got another year of perilous times. No telling what they're going to be doing by then. We got a miniature tribulation period. If we got to go to next, because this, to me, it's the next fall. It won't be summer and all that stuff. We'll quit making videos talking about Passover, new wine, second Passover, third Passover, fifth Pentecost. And then they get mad at the Feast of Trumpets. You know the Feast of Trumpets is it when people get upset when you just mention it. Anyway, God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll see y'all later. God bless.